To further discuss this, I'm joined by Bolu Michael-Biyi, who is a foreign policy analyst. Bolu, it's nice to have you around to talk about this.
Thank you for having me.
You just listened to the Prime Minister there. I mean, do you think that the UK's immigration reforms will achieve their goal of reducing low-skilled migration while attracting high-skilled professionals?
Well, they are. I think the UK has literally plunged itself into a migration crisis because you can't have both. I believe you can't have both. It's either you attract the high skilled ones or the lower skilled ones. You find it may reduce low skilled migration. However, the UK is a service based economy, and the challenge that many of the citizens are having is the fact that they feel that foreigners are taking their jobs. But these jobs, if they are asked to do them, they're not going to do them. They don't want to work on the farms. They don't want to do the hospitality work, or they don't want to do the care work. And the service industry is hitting a deficit right now. For example, the care industry, there are over 100,000 unfilled vacancies right now, and with this law coming, it's kind of counterproductive, and it won't necessarily attract and keep high-skilled workers. It can actually scare them away, meaning that there's a policy increasing the meaning that they have to wait longer, the additional 5 years, totally in 10 years now before they could, become citizens, and that could create, dissatisfaction and in turn lead to a depressed population. And I know that within the next year, about 2 million people will be eligible for British citizenship. And this definitely won't be a retroactive legislation, being that the people that have been eligible before this day will still have to get it. If not, they can't be caught by a new law. That would be illegal. So the UK can end up being a society whereby the person that is cleaning the floor is a doctor and all that, and that's not good for having a fulfilled society.
Well, we know that the UK has, this sort of diplomatic relations with countries from where migrants move in. So how do you think that other countries will view this new immigration policy, especially the longer residency requirements and, of course, the stricter deportation rules?
Well, it is quite an irony that while the countries that like countries in some countries in Western Europe and Eastern Europe as well, they're trying to appeal to the world. For example, Germany, they want to change that image of the Nazi era and try to be much more welcoming to migrants. It's just an irony that the UK is kind of doing the opposite right now. And this can lead to some form of resentment abroad, and not just diplomatic ties. We can see countries can start to retaliate by reducing the passport index of British citizens, because this kind of policies literally is telling foreigners or people outside world that they are not wanted in their country. And it's not good. There are some countries that you hear their names and you smile, and there are countries that you hear their names and you frown. The UK tends to be tilting from that country that you smile when you're going to feel that excitement to one where it kind of dampens your spirit. So we can find, we don't be surprised in the next few years or even months ahead that countries will now start requiring that for British citizens to obtain a visa before they enter the country. It's when countries are welcoming to that we have to come together. We have a difference that brings something to the table. When countries are open to foreigners, they have a better global appeal, and in turn, it trickles down on even the smallest citizen.
Do you think that the immigration move or policy, so to speak, is more of a political, move than a socioeconomic move to actually reduce the socioeconomic encumbrances on the country?
Well, I feel it's just an effect of, it's more like a reaction to the Reform Party, which is gaining ground in the UK rather than the actual mood of the country. It's important for countries to sit down and have a well-thought-out plan, because the intention is actually to retain skilled workers, but in the end, it might actually end up, chasing them away. For example, imagine a student, that's been in the UK for 5 years, and now with this policy has to wait another 10 years to become a citizen. That's not really, and this person is paying tax and all, it's not rewarding labor. Now it has to wait in the UK for 15 years before obtaining you just need to be there for 3 years before you become a citizen. That kind of skilled worker would rather move to Canada and wait extra 3 years and have a total of 8 years to obtain a Western passport than staying in the UK and having to wait there for 15 years. So the policies, I think, is not really well thought as just a reaction to the Reform Party rather than actual mood of the people. And I believe, I do believe that this policy would last for long.
All right. Bolu Michael-Biyi, thank you so much for your time on the news.
Thank you for having me.
All right.